Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to walk you through Lab 6.4. So we're working on Lab 6.4 here. We're going to open up our data, and what we'll be doing in this video is vertical analyses. So vertical analyses, if you remember from class, is just a fancy term for taking a financial statement like the income statement or the balance sheet and stating everything in that financial statement as a percentage of some main value. And so usually what we do in the income statement is we state everything as a percentage of revenue. If we were looking at the balance sheet, we would state everything as a percentage of assets. So just vertical analysis just means stating everything as a percentage. Nothing too complicated, nothing too fancy. So let's work on this. It should not take long at all. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to label the years here. So this is going to be 2000. Let's just call. We're going to calculate these percentages for both 2016 and 2017, right? And this is going to be percentage of sales, and let's format this. We'll bold it, we'll center it, and this will merge and center percentage of sales across the two years, so we know both of these are a percentage of sales. And we're going to do our calculations. So for 2016, we're going to say, take this amount and divide it by total operating revenue. So we're looking at American Airlines Group here for 2016 and 2017. All right. We're going to want to copy this formula. So we're going to put absolute references in for total revenue. But we have to be careful here because I want to copy this both to the rows below in column D, but also over into column E. So I don't want an absolute reference on the column, only on the row. So I'm going to state this as a percentage. You'll see it's not formatted correctly. We can, up top here, format this as a percentage, take it out one decimal place. Sometimes that's useful. And now we have everything we want. We can just basically copy and paste this into all relevant cells here. So we'll do this across the board. Let's just double check that we're calculating things correctly. Let's see, this is pulling from that. That's pulling from that. That looks good. Yep, everything looks good. All right, so this is our vertical analysis. Nothing terribly complicated. What this is used for is evaluating performance year versus year. So for example, mainline passenger revenue is pretty flat, and so is most of the other revenue. It's pretty flat in terms of percentage of or where the revenue is coming from. But if we look down at operating expenses, we see that aircraft fuel has gone down. The price of aircraft fuel has gone down this year relative to revenue. If we look at some of these other expenses, what else stands out? So everything else, this looks regional expenses, whatever that is. If we went to the 10K here, there's a link. We can follow the link to the 10K. We might see some discussion about why regional expenses are down. Salaries and wages are down about almost a full %. And overall, our operating income has gone up from about 9.6% to 13.2%. Okay, so that's the idea here. Vertical analyses allows you to see which accounts kind of fluctuated from year to year, and then you can go investigate further. For example, does it make sense for American Airlines that aircraft fuel price has gone down as a percentage of revenue? And then that warrants us looking into this a little further, right? Another thing we can do is we can add something called Sparklines that gives us a visual representation of how these things are moving around. So if we go to insert over here, we're going to say Sparklines line, and we want to compare the mainline passenger revenue in 2016 to the mainline passenger revenue in 2017. Let's see what that looks like. So mainline passenger revenue has gone down. So we get this downward trending line. Right? So it went from 69.5 to 69.3. It's gone down. We can drag this formula down and we'll get what these are called. These are called Sparklines, and we'll get Sparklines for all of these accounts. And it just gives us a quick visual trend of which way the various line items are going from year to year. All right, so some people like to use these Sparklines as a visual representation. So this concludes our vertical analyses lab in Lab 6.4, and good luck working through this, and I will talk to you soon.